What's up, y'all? So I'll be looking online and I see a lot of people, talking on the podcast and stuff like that. And, they're all talking about this and they talking about that. And a lot of people got their Tupac story. Well, I got a Tupac story too. Yes. Yes, indeed. And mine starts in 1994 when I was interning at Island Records and G Street Records. And big shouts out to the homeboy Mike from Queens, from the D, who was the manager at the Foot Locker. And he gave me a job. He's like, well, you got to make some money too, man. You got all these internships. You got to make some money. So he looked out for me and he gave me an internship at Foot Locker on Broadway, right down in the Village. You know what I'm saying? So all the stars used to come in there. I remember LL Cool J would just walk in and just look at the shoes and leave. And I remember Russell Simmons came in there one time and he was holding his beads and just looking at the shoes. It was a really popular spot, right? So this particular time, I had just started working at the Foot Locker, so I didn't know nothing. And I was talking to this brother that was working there. I guess his name was Sean or something like that. Anyway, he was supposed to go be playing basketball in Connecticut somewhere next year. Big, tall cat, right? So we standing there just chopping it up, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, Tupac walks in. Now, Pac comes walking in with a backpack, the bandana, you know what I'm saying? It was camouflage and tan, and he had on his glasses, Tim's and everything. And Rashawn, big crazy, says, oh my God, it's Tupac. And his ass just turns around and runs away, right? And I'm looking at him running away, and I look up, I see Tupac, I walk up to him, I go, what's up, Tupac, man? My name is Nicolay, man. I'm interning at Island Records in G Street, man. I do music, man. How can I help you? And Pac was just looking at me like, pulling on his beard, kind of like looking at me and stuff, kind of laughing. And he gave me some dap. And he said, he's like, you from Kalamazoo? And I was like, yeah, all of a sudden, snapped, yeah, I'm from Kalamazoo. He like, yeah, man, I got homeboys from Kalamazoo. I got homeboys and cousin in Atlanta. And I think he said a name, Jason, and I knew Jason. It was kind of like, whoa, I think I know Jason. Well, anyway, he said that was family. And then, so he went off kind of like, man, I couldn't help that situation, such and such and such. I mean, he like really went off, and I was like, I seen the gangster Tupac real quick, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like that. And he was talking about, something that I really didn't know until like later I looked up with the incident, what he was talking about. And then he calmed down, and then I was like, yo, and then he was like, but anyway, I was like, damn, man, I didn't even know that was crazy. I was just there confident, whatever, talking, whatever. And then I was wearing these Nike Cortezes, these black ones with the white stripe, these black leather joints, man. Cortezes, everybody used to rock them. And then I pocket to my feet, and he's like, yo, give me two of what you got on in size 10 in red. I was like, what? Oh, we want to wear, he was like, you want what I got on? I was tripping, like Pac wanted the shoes that I was rocking, right? So I'm like, whoa. So then boom, I jet over and I go tell Mike and shit. I'm like, Mike, Tupac's out here, man. He wants a size 10 Nike Cortez, red, 2 pair, and hurry. And we all tripping. Mike just runs out and he goes in the back. Now at this time, we had got Pocket came over to this backboard that was over in the building. I don't know if it's still there, but in the store was a big old backboard, and all the celebrities were signing. So he went over there and he wrote real big the number 2, Pac, just real big. And so he was standing on this little chair, and he had the Latino mommies, fine little mommies we used to work with, and they was and then Mike comes over and looks in the corner. And he's like, yo, psst, come here. And I'm like, come on, man. And I'm like, what, right? So then he's like, yo, I don't have his size. I'm like, what? You mean to tell me I gotta go tell Tupac something that he don't want to hear? I was like, man. I was like, all right, just give me. So he had some 9.5 or some squares like that. So I had the boxes, and Pac was cool. And then he went up and he was like, I was like, hey, Pac, I got the shoes, but they only like 9.5. He was like, that's all right, I'll take them. So he was cool about that. And then, boom, I put him in the bag. So then I'm walking him to the door. And he was like, yo, man, would you come hang out a little bit later? And I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, shit, we finna go out tonight, such and such, and boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, all right, bet. He's like, I'm staying at the Waldorf Astoria. And I was like, okay, bet. But what name under? Under what name? And he looked at me kind of and says, Tupac Shakur. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like, yeah, man, we're going to go out and we're going to go out tonight. So come on and hang out. So he invited me out. And for some reason, of course, now, wait a minute. I have to tell you so then I walk him out to the door, and there was a cab coming. And the cab, cabs don't pick up no black folks in the 90s at all. I don't know if they do or not. That's why I thank God for Uber and all that. So boom, he passes, and then Pac stepped back. He pulled out a Newport 100, and he lit it. Now, across the street over this way, there was an Arabic guy, Brother King. He saw Pac, and it's a one-way going this way on Broadway and 9th in the Village. He said, he just ran the light, came, got up out the car, came over to Tupac, said, Tupac, sir, may I take your bag? Pac was like, is it okay if I smoke in the car? Yes, sir, Tupac, sir. And then, boom, he grabbed Pac's little, couple of shoes and stuff that he had. He had his backpack and everything on him. Boom, put it in the back, in the trunk. He sat down, you know what I'm saying? And Pac, he saw me, he just dapped me up. That was it. Boom, got in the car, and I just watched him go on down. Drive on down like the sunset, just driving away. And so, I lived in Jersey, so I was tripping, and then everybody in the store was tripping. I was like, yo, that was like kind of right before the internet and everything, so if I'd have had pictures and all that, I'd have had it. But the story's good enough because it's the truth. And this is 94. Like, I had just got Biggie. Biggie had just gave me my name, Mike Mich. So I'm thinking deep in my historical vibration, like, man, maybe if I could have been like chill with both of them at one point, maybe something else could have been, maybe, resolution or something. I don't know. I don't know. But I always thought it was, I'm more thankful to God that I got a chance to interact and chill out with Pac and got a chance to see his different personalities. And actually really interact with the brother, man. You could tell he was a genius, And then Big was cool as a mug. And just a little bit on that note, that night that he had invited me to go out and hang out, I don't know if it was the night that he got shot at the Quad or if it was the night where he went to Nell's. I'm thinking it was the night that he went to Nell's, because this was before that, you feel me? He was happier, so it was earlier in the summer. So yeah, it was the night that I think that we went to Nell's, because I went to Nell's and I was upstairs. Nell's was a great club over on 14th Street where we was going. That's where he told me he was gonna go. And they was all in the basement. You couldn't get down there, all kind of whatever was going on. I don't know if that was the same time, but I think that's around the same time. So that's my Tupac story. My Biggie story is another story, but I got a lot of those right here on the Mike Mich Show. You know what I'm saying? Thought I would just go ahead and open up the podcast like this, do it this way. You know what I'm saying? The famous people I met, the Mike Mich Show. Happy Valentine's Day, and big up to Tupac and Biggie.